Mark, who hails from Detroit, River Rouge, Michigan, Detroit, and his skate nickname is G-Man. We've got Kojak. He hails from Atlanta, Georgia. His nickname is Superman. And we have Terry Twin from Chicago. Now, Mark's been skating since a kid. All three have been skating since very, very young ages. And I'm going to let them tell you how old they are. But when I tell you guys, these three gentlemen, they're lean, they look young, their attitudes is a young spirit, and they just move on those eights, as we say, on roller skates, like it's just effortless. But they are amazing. And so again, I invited them on the show because they're higher energy and they just keep it going. And they got great attitudes. They're also, let me add this too. This is a tidbit. They're all fathers, husbands, excellent pillars in the community. They do their part. And whenever there's a young skater or a young man or a young woman looking for some guidance, they'll either show them how to skate or give them words of encouragement. So that's why I chose these three gentlemen. So with further ado, I'm going to show this amazing video so you guys can see their skills on those eights, as we call it. All right. And here we go. did y'all think of that? Was that not nice or what? Them boys got skills. Okay, so without further ado, I am going to introduce everyone. We've got Twin. Hey, Twin. How are you? Kojak Superman and Mr. Mark G-Man. How are you, sir?
Good.
Thank you for coming on Let's Talk. Oh my goodness. Every time I see that video or you guys moving, I just start getting into the beat with it. Like, oh wow. You guys are just so humble. I can't believe it. Y'all supposed to be walking around saying, yeah, I'm the man. I'm the man.
I'm okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Oh, absolutely. My pleasure. My
Thank
pleasure.
you for having us.
So who want to go first? What'd you say?
I said I appreciate it.
Oh, yes. So who want to go first and tell everybody how old you are? Because you guys look great. You do not look your age. Who want to go first?
I go first.
Okay.
I'm 52,
Woo.
and yeah, I'm 52, and I'm from the South Side of Chicago, born and raised.
Okay. Kojak, your turn.
60 years old, ATL original skater, ATL graded baby.
All right now. All right. I know that's so you do not look 60. You do not look 52. And Mr. G-Man, how old are you, sir?
I'm 57, almost 58.
Wow.
Yeah, y'all doing it. Y'all doing it. When I grow up, I'm going to be like y'all. Y'all just make that look so effortless. I mean, like it's just easy peasy. Okay, so who wants to tell me when did you first learn to skate and when was it?
Me, I learned. I was like, I want to say I was like 9, 10, in the 70s and late 70s, and me and my brothers we skated in the street. I grew up in Inglewood on the south side of Chicago, and the first skating rink we went to was Skate City. It was on 63rd and Racine, and that was the first skating rink we went to. We were little kids, but we started off skating in the streets. That's where we started. We started skating in the streets, and then we went to the skating rink. And Skate City used to do a whiz on. They used to do the whiz on skate, and me and my brother we was munchkin, and that's what really got us into skating.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. What about you, Mark? How old were you when you first started skating?
Indoor, I was 10, no, 11. And my neighbors, Timothy and Philip Jackson, got me skating indoors. And they were Jehovah Witnesses. And so we went to this skating rink in Lincoln Park, Michigan. And it was a all-white skating rink. And they played organ music. So we couldn't skate. We didn't like it. It was different, skating indoors opposed to outdoors where I started. And so we hated skating because we couldn't skate. So as time went on, we learned, the basics, and we thought we had got really good, So it got so bad that the floor guards would tell us, like, slow it down, buddy, slow it down, just slow it down. So we thought we mastered skating, until we went to a all black skating rink. It was a whole different style of skating. So we had to learn and tore pants up, tore skates up. And it got to a point where we finally thought we were good. So we started skating. I can go on and on and on with it, but a guy named Daryl Williams showed us that style of skating.
Wow.
We called him Elbow, and Elbow was a great skater. He's not around anymore. And so then we started skating all over Detroit, all over the place. Met Richard Houston when I was real young, and he was doing drops and slides, and I was like, oh boy, something else I have to learn. So it went on and on and on. I got to meet a lot of people over the years, and I know a lot of people all over skaters.
Wow. And Kojak, you're from the ATL, so tell us your story about how you got into it.
Basically, like Mark said, I skated outside when I was young on flyways, on iron skates, in the projects. But for the most part, I started indoor when I was 18 years old, when I met my wonderful wife. I've been married right now for 36 years. So I started skating at a skating rink called Greenbrier skating ring and converted over to Jelly Bean skating ring, some of the best skaters in the country. And I skated on the Brownies for 2 years before I learned to get my own skates. And those guys were phenomenal skaters. And I said, once I learn how to skate, I'm going to be just like them. Matter of fact, I'm going to be better than them. It was some great skaters. We had a great time. Social skills was good. It was family oriented. So it was real. It was wonderful. In those days, hopefully the kids now and the guys now in this generation get back to that same trend for it too. Let's respect one another and let's just have a good time.
I know that's right. I know that's right. So is it safe to say that the three of you, twin, you skate Chicago style, Mark, you're Detroit, and Kojak, you're Atlanta, right?
Correct.
Okay. That's what I figured out. So you guys talked about some of the people that inspired you to skate. What motivates you to keep putting on the skates? You know, because as you all mentioned, you're in your 50s, 50 plus, and you know, people in their 50s. I'm in my 50s. You know, a lot of us some days, you know, we might not want to get off the couch and go skating. What inspires you to just keep going no matter what?
Well,
Yeah.
what kept me going is because um, if it wasn't for skating, I'm not even telling no story. I don't know where I'd be because I come from a big family and I have a lot of brothers and sisters, and it's like my sisters, they did other stuff, but my brothers, we skate. So skating kept us out of trouble. And that's what motivated me to skate every week. I mean, we skated, oh my God, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all day Saturday, and
Wow.
Sunday. The only
Woo.
day we didn't skate was Monday. That was the only day. Other than that, we skated all day. And I'm telling you, I started at Skate City. Once I went to the Loop roller rink, it was over with. And it was like once I saw those skate guards skating, it was I mean, it was like everything to me. And I did whatever I could to go skating. I mean, I did other stuff. Like I swam. I was a lifeguard at one point in time. But skating was always a passion that I did like every day. And it kept me out of trouble. So going every day and seeing the skaters, it was just something to do. It's just a passion that's still with me today. And I don't think it's gonna go anywhere, you know. So I owe skating a lot. And then like I say, my mom introduced us to it, but it was my brother, my twin, that literally took me by the arm and he just showed me a lot, you know. But I want to say the passion of skating and like I say, it kept me out of trouble. So thanks to skating, I'm still around today because of skating. Because if it wasn't for skating, I don't know what I'd be doing. Because like I say, we was game bangers. You named it, we was doing it. So skating was my way out, you know. And I wish a lot of kids, the youth today, you know, find something to do. Because once you find that passion, you ain't gonna have time to do nothing else, you know. So like I say, like my friends, they will go game bang, we will go skate. They say we finna go beat up this person. Oh, well, we'll see y'all later. We going skate. So that was my passion. That's why I owe skating a whole lot because growing up, that was something I've been doing since I was little, you know, and that's just how
That's awesome.
that's my passion.
Now, how did you get your nickname Twin? Tell us about that.
Well, I had a twin brother. Me and my twin brother, it was four of us that went skate. I got it's 6 boys and 5 girls, and all the boys we went skating. But me and my twin, we stuck out the most, you know. And just by me having a twin, me and my brother, we skated just alike. When they say the twins think alike, yes, we do, because I knew everything. Once he taught me a lot of moves, I knew what he was going to do. So, you know, when my brother passed away, I mean, they still call me twin. So that's why I'm twin because of my twin brother. And
Oh,
we're known for skating.
okay. I'm so sorry for your loss. Wow. Well, I'm sure he's looking down on you proud that you still keeping it
Oh,
up.
yeah. And that's why I keep skating. I won't, it's like I was gonna stop, but then my mom was like, you know, he don't want that. So it's like I just kept doing it, and I won't stop. You know, it's like when I'm skating, I don't see nobody else. If you notice my videos, there's really nobody in the skating rink, but I'm still skating. You know, so it's not about the crowd; it's just the love of skating. You know.
I understand. I
Yeah.
understand. And Mark, what inspires you to keep getting up and lacing up and skating every week?
Well, as I've gotten older, I realize that it's real good exercise. But skating, I don't look at it as exercise because I enjoy doing it. It's just something I enjoy doing. But it's great exercise, and the more you do it, the better you get at it. Some people start skating. Oh, I can't do this. I can't do that. The more you do it, the better you get at it. And when you stop and you go back, you can still do it, but you're doing it a lot better if you keep doing it on a regular basis.
Yeah. And they also say the older you get, you got to keep moving, right? You got to just
You
keep moving.
must keep moving.
Yeah, you gotta keep moving.
You got to keep moving, and you don't have to be good. Just keep moving, keep
Just keep
skating.
moving. That's right.
And I can go skating, and if I haven't skated in a while, I can skate hard. I can go home, take a shower, and I can look at my legs and my calves bulging from just skating.
Yeah.
So.
And Kojak, what about you, sir? What inspires you to keep going?
Basically, to be 60 years old and still roller skating, something I most definitely enjoy. I'm not a clubber. I don't go out and club. My club is to go roller skating. I had a bad day at work. I won't cuss nobody at work. I'm gonna put it down on the floor. I'm gonna make my skates do all the necessary things that possible to bring that anger out on the floor. So it's a passion. It's a love for it. It's a respect for skating, and also me, Mark and Twin and Drina like yourself. Good people. It's good hospitality. It's a good family oriented thing that get out to meet people and show people that you really care about them as well.
Yeah, definitely. You're
Great
right.
stress reliever.
Absolutely.
This is author and life coach Elise Green. She's going to come on and talk with us today about gratitude and Thanksgiving, even in the trying season. So without further ado, let me bring Miss Elise Green on in the room.
How are you, my love?
Good, a little stuff from Thanksgiving, but it's all good. It is all good.
I don't know if I sent you a picture of what I ate, but I'm so glad you didn't put it up. Because that would just not be right. I finished the whole thing too.
my Thanksgiving, I have to say, was the best one yet. It was the best. And I know it's going to sound odd, and it was the best one because I did not cook. Right? I was like, all that standing and cook. It was wonderful. I watched movies and rested. It was really, really nice. Really nice. So, but I'm going to turn my stage over to you because I just cannot wait to hear you tell us about, gratitude and Thanksgiving and even in the trying season. So we definitely want to hear what that is all about, Miss Elise. And I'm going to turn the stage over to you.
Oh, why, thank you. Thank you. It's always an honor and a pleasure to be back on your platform. I'm so thankful. So thank you for always reaching out to me. I appreciate it. And the way you started, I love how you start with what's going on. And it truly shows that we are in trying times. Not only is the end of the year challenging for a lot of folks, but the behavior of people in our world has really gotten out of control. The lack of morals and boundaries and care for another life has really just hit rock bottom. So we've talked about that, and we know that this is the factor. So what I want us to do is to remember that we don't have to be paralyzed in place while this stuff is going on. We have more power than we realize. It is proven, although I am not a scientist, but I have heard it yet said that we only use 10% of our mind. And if we use more of our mind, there's so much more that we are capable of. So I want to do something called a mindset shift, or encourage us to think about a mindset shift. So what I want us to do is now just think about what's good. So, Dre, what was good about, not having to cook? What's good? What was good? Tell me about what was good.
That my lower back didn't hurt from all that standing. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, that was awesome. That in itself.
So that in itself, realizing that you had another option, you made the choice to choose relief over tradition that sometimes is like putting a chain on us or shackling us into something that can be so painful when our bodies are maybe not in the shape that it used to be in, or we've gone through a lot, and the things that we remember and our ancestors speak into the back of our ears are reminding us that we got to do this, we got to do this. Well, there's also a different way of doing that. So you changed up what you did and put yourself in a happy place. You made the choice that I'm going to do something that's good for me. And it probably was good for your family. It sounds like you had a wonderful time.
Yes.
I see the beautiful smile on your face. I don't see the grimace of, oh, let me shift. My lower back is killing me. Oh, jeez. So choice is so powerful. And no one makes us choose. We are in control of choice. So choosing to do something that's good for yourself. Yesterday, I went to one of my life group sisters' home, her son's home, and celebrated Thanksgiving with her family. Awesome. That was my choice. Now, let me be honest, because this is the year first, and if your followers, your viewers have been watching since, I guess, August, since I've been on with you, you guys know that my mom passed in February. It's been a challenging year. Lots of all the stuff that goes along with that. And normally Mom and I spend Thanksgiving together. We used to get up and go to the early shopping when the doors opened at 6 o'clock in the morning to go and put stuff on layaway. So those memories came back. Mom would be up making sweet potato pie and, things like that. So those memories came back. And I almost said no. I almost said no to the invitation. I thought to myself, no, you don't have to stay home. Mom is in a good place. What's good for you and good for me was being with other people that were celebrating. I love watching other people celebrate. So making the choice to do something good for myself and my belly was good for me. My endorphins were kicked off. My oxytocin kicked in. Everyone was lovely. And it was a wonderful thing. So choice is so powerful. And I want people to remember that only you can make the choice for yourself. Don't put yourself in a position where someone else is making choices for you. So you make the choice for yourself. So it's a choice to give thanks, to be in a mindset of gratitude. So shifting that mindset, we talked about what's good. It's a choice. Taking the time to say, I'm going to spend a little time, shifting my mindset. So when we want to, get a good position in our homes and we want to watch TV, our flat screen TVs are great unless you have those that curve. But if you sit on the side, you don't get a real good view. You have to shift the chair to get the optimal view. And sometimes we need to shift ourselves, metaphorically speaking. You have to change the way you look at things. So let's have a mindset shift. It is changing your perspective of what is happening to you or what's happening around you. It's going back to the choice of choosing to see the good in the midst of the challenges that are going around. I don't like the negative words, so we'll use challenges. So see the good in the midst of the challenges. And I mean, taking it back to the very basics. I woke up this morning. This is a good thing. There must be something else that I'm still here to do, not only for myself, but for somebody else. I can be grateful for this because I have another opportunity to take 24 hours, the same 24 hours that everyone else has, and do something positive, make a difference in my life in someone else's life, or in my room space, or clean out my refrigerator because that makes me happy. These things, there are things that we can do. So shifting how we view stuff, and really say, look, I'm only going to talk about, the good stuff. I'm only going to talk about the positive stuff. I'm going to speak out loud and give thanks. I'm going to speak out loud and show gratitude. I am grateful for this chair that I have. It is the very color that I wanted to match my desk. I like bright light colors. This is great. I am grateful for those books that I wrote back there. Not putting a plug out, but I'm grateful for the opportunity to have the process to now say that I am a 3-time published author.
Mhm.
I am grateful. One, I did the work, but I'm grateful for the opportunity. So having that mindset shift. So how do you do it for yourself with gratitude? So I want to ask you, Dre, how do you show gratitude, or what do you do to show gratitude or feel grateful for yourself? What are 1 or 2 things that you do?
Oh my gosh. I would have to say sometimes I'm just grateful to just every now and then get an extra hour of sleep or because I'm always doing so much. That's
Mhm.
huge. That's huge. Resting.
Yes, rest is huge. I ran in from physical therapy this morning and I threw myself on my bed. I told my little puppy dog, Mama needs rest. Mama needs rest because I got to be functional later on. So getting that to hour and a half was really wonderful. And I'm grateful that I did, because now I don't really sound like a blithering idiot and I'm yawning on your screen because I was able to get rest. So I love that rest is something that you do for yourself.
Mhm.
Let's make a list. I challenge people, make a list of things that you are grateful for. Now, grateful and thankful can be 2 different branches on the tree. When giving thanks for someone doing something for you, and being grateful for what you've already have is
Mm.
another branch on the tree. And so we can choose to be thankful or grateful. Put yourself in that position. Oftentimes we look at the tree, and I'm standing on the sunny side of the tree, and I'm telling you, girl, look at the sun glistening off of these leaves. And you're like, look, all I see is shade.
Mm.
It's just moving around that tree, and it's okay to move around the tree. We are not plants. We can move. That's the beautiful thing. That's why it's called a mindset shift. Shift your position, shift your perspective. Take a look at something other than what you know to gain something else extra. Sometimes we have to let go of what we're holding on to so tightly in order to receive something else.
Mm.
So shift the position. Um, think about what you're grateful for, what you already have. And then how do you show others that you're grateful for them? Is there something that you do that's special? How do you show either thanks or gratitude to someone else? I'm just throwing you all on the spot.
I know, right? Well, I'll use you as an example.
Okay.
You're awesome at what you do. A plug. You're awesome at what you do. And you and I, we had a conversation just brainstorming on how to move the needle for my next book. And so I'm grateful for you. So I said, I'm going to have Elise come back on a regular basis to share some of that. So I'm grateful for you, for your knowledge, your creativity, and just being so this is my way of sharing with everybody that I'm grateful for you. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. That makes me feel better about what I do. It helps me to say, okay, I'm moving in the right direction. I am using my gifts and skills that I picked up along the way to help others. So that was a beautiful example of showing how grateful or thankful you are. For me, I like to write notes or send sweet texts to people or video clips because sometimes the thumbs don't type the right words. So I'll send a fun video on my phone to others that just sometimes it just brightens their day. Just making that connection. That's one of the things I like to do, to one, thank people, but just let other people know I am so grateful that you are in my life. I am grateful that we get to do life together. You support me in my good moods and my not so good moods, because I have some sisters that will put their hair in a ponytail with me and straighten me out, and I'm so grateful for them, Jenny and Doug. And so being able to share that with other people, there are lots of different ways: sending sweet notes, post-it notes, writing on the mirror for your loved ones. I used to put little notes in my niece's backpack before she would go to school so that she would find it when she was at school. Just something to lift their days. I just told her, I'm grateful that you're my niece. You make me smile. Nina loves you. And so things like that. So it doesn't have to cost anything other than a little piece of your heart and a little bit of your time to show others how you appreciate them, and you're thanking them, or you're grateful for something that you have with them or that you've done. And then the next step is, what are we grateful for? Now, we talked about life. We talked that we wake up and we have, we can breathe, we can do things. And there are things that we have here at the house that we have. There's other things that people don't have in the world that they would be grateful that we don't even think about. We have carpet on our floors. We have slippers we can put on our feet. We can crack the window when it's too warm, or close it when it's too cold. These are the basics. And we often don't think about just the structure of what gratitude and thankfulness looks like, because we're waiting for these big ostentatious things. We want the baller gift, the baller thanks and the baller gratitude. But it's not necessary. And when we start in a place of something that we can carry, and we grow stronger in it. So what you feed is what will grow the most. So you want to feed pessimism and bad attitude, bad mood, feed that. You'll be a grumpy. You want to feed positivity, speak positivity over yourself. I'm going to the Bible now. Speak life over yourself. Your mouth, your words are powerful. There's life and death in the power of the tongue. So how we use it is so important. Use scripture, affirmation, good words, poems, even songs. Sing songs over yourself and over others will take your mindset to a positive place.
Dr. Marion Pearson, she is the MoHives president. She's a pediatrician with a special interest in education and urban community service. She attended the University of Missouri, Kansas City, BA, MD, 6-year medical program where she received both a bachelor's degree in biology along with her medical degree. Dr. Pearson has a strong love for science and loves being a beekeeper. Dr. Pearson is also an active volunteer in many community and civic organizations. And we have Mr. Brian Reeves. He is MoHives co-founder and the organization's vice president. Brian is a pharmaceutical rep in the Kansas City area. Brian graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Therapeutic Recreation and worked several years in behavioral health and physical rehabilitation settings. Brian has had a successful award-winning career and a reputation of being a positive leader. Brian also is a beekeeper in his efforts to save the planet. He teaches both young and not so young the wonderful story of a bee's life. So without further ado, let me bring them on in the room so we can talk. Hi, Dr. Pearson. How are you?
Hello.
Hello, Brian. How you
How are you
doing?
guys? I'm doing great this evening. Thank you, Judy. Yeah.
Awesome.
What a
Awesome.
great introduction.
I rehearsed.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Uh-oh, she's talking. I think you're muted, Dr. Pearson. Uh-oh, there you go.
Hi, good evening. Just proud to be on the show. Thanks for having me.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm so honored. And I always like to have guests that come on to inform us and tell us about things that we may not normally know of. So thank you so much for coming on. So I have to ask the major question that's just burning me, right? How did you guys become a beekeeper? When you hear about bees, you go, oh my God, you just want to run, right?
I'll let you go first, Dr. Pearson.
Well, it's a great question and one that we often get asked. I think I can speak for both of us. It is a question we often get asked, but I honestly fell into it, and I will be absolutely honest. I just love honey. Just a full disclosure, I just love honey. And when I found out that the bees were a threatened species, I said, wait, I love honey. So it was purely selfish in its intention. But the truth is, just loving nature and recognizing that this was a threatened species and that it's going to take everyone to be a part of this conversation to really help a threatened species like the bees.
Oh, wow. What about you, Brian? How'd you get involved?
As my introduction, you mentioned I'm a pharmaceutical sales rep, so I cover a very vast area. So I'm driving. So one day I'm listening to NPR, and one of the things, it was a segment on honeybees. And the thing that really caught my attention, they mentioned that if the bees die in 4 years, mankind would die too as well. Just, the service that the bees do as far as our ecosystem. And I'm like, wow, in 4 years, I don't want to die. So in my efforts to do my part, I just started being a beekeeper. I took a couple classes, and then once I got in the hive and just to learn more and more about the bees, it's just very fascinating. So now I'm just hooked. And then I met Dr. Pearson at one of those continuing education opportunities, and her enthusiasm was just equal to mine. We shared visions. My background as far as being a therapeutic recreation specialist and working with kids, and she had a great idea. And once you hear her story, her enthusiasm, you're going to want to join the team too as well. So she hooked me, and from there, MoHives, she had it all planned out, and we just needed some muscle, I guess they say, and some thought behind it, and we put our mind and our visions together. And I'm just grateful to tell our story. You guys can hear our story as well.
Awesome, definitely. So one of the comments and one of my questions is, so why are bees important to the world? Why do we need bees?
Sure. So first and foremost, they are pollinators, and people often ask, well, what does that mean? I hear this term pollinators, but pollinators circulate the pollen from one plant, tree, shrub to another so that the plants can reproduce, and that's how they make plant babies. And so they are unlike people. They depend on a mix of pollen from other plants to really reproduce. And the bees really are critical in that. So we need them for every bit of our food production. 1 in every 3 bites of food. So every 3 bites of food depends on a pollinator to really reproduce. So the bees are critical in that step. And certainly as people of color, we have to recognize that in order to have food security and food sovereignty, we must be aware and knowledgeable about every link in the food chain. And pollinators are just one of those links. And so we need to help because bees are being threatened because of loss of habitat, pesticides, disease, all the things that threaten humans threaten bees as well. And so we have played a part in that as humans, but we can also play a significant role in kind of reversing some of that, or at least mitigating it to the degree that we can. So.
Yeah. Wow. Anything you want to add to that, Brian?
No, she hit it, right on the head. As she mentioned, 1 in every 3 things, or 80% of all the fruits, vegetables, seed crops are pollinated by a bee. And it goes back to what I mentioned before in NPR: if the bees die, we die. Just think 80% of the things that go in our mouth that are essential to us living the bees pollinate, just the whole circle of life, because the bees going to pollinate that the grass, and with the cows eat the grass, and it just keeps going and going and going from there. So I think Time Life 2 years ago actually had them on the cover as being the most important species on the planet.
Wow, never knew that. Never knew that. So what was your well, you guys told me your reason for becoming a beekeeper, but what obstacles have you overcome with being a beekeeper?
Well, and I'll jump in. I will honestly say that one of the obstacles was, again, I am fully open in a lot of these things. One of my obstacles was I'm afraid of bugs. People are like, how could you start a nonprofit focus on bugs and be afraid of bugs? But I am. So that was one obstacle. But another obstacle was just my lack of knowledge about the subject. But one of the things that I hope my story communicates to others is that you can show yourself a learner at any age. And so I had to overcome that lack of knowledge and learn. And as Brian mentioned, we met at a beekeeping conference. So I was there trying to gather knowledge. So I reached out and I asked people, and I happen to have a nurse practitioner who works with us, and her father, Will Wilhouse, has been a beekeeper for 50 years. And I said, hey, do you think your dad would let me tag along while he's caring for some of his beehives? And she said, yes. So again, show myself a learner, demonstrate to others that no matter how much knowledge you think you have, you are ignorant to some things, and open yourself up, and you can do some good. So again, those are the biggest obstacles I faced. And then I suppose another, and the last one I'll kind of mention and let Brian go for the answer. But one of the other obstacles is that in the U.S., beekeeping is largely a white male-dominated or profession. So just not seeing representation in that space was another obstacle. And fortunately, we didn't come up with the idea of reclaiming vacant, blighted spaces in the middle of cities and turning them into honeybee farms. Actually, the group at Detroit Hives, a young couple, they had the original idea. And so one of the obstacles was, again, not seeing myself represented in that space, but then looking for others who did look like me, and they were a perfect example.
Well, Detroit is my hometown, so I'm biased to that.
Right. And I would like to just add to it too. I mean, this is knowledge. I've been a beekeeper about 5 years, and bees have been around for 20 million years, and they basically are unchanged how the bees are bees. As the world changes, the bees have been very consistent for these 20 million years. Obstacle for us we experience is that even though we as beekeepers try to control the bees, we lost a couple hives this past winter in the Midwest. We have the hot summers, but we do have the cold winters as well. There's pests that are out there too as well. So as we are learning as beekeepers, we're trying to, they're like our little kids. And, each hive has 60,000 bees in there. And, and we had a couple hives that we lost last winter. So just learning from our mistakes. And then sometimes, nature just going to do nature as well. And just trying to just figure out, okay, what didn't we do or what can we do better the next time around? But when it's all said and done, bees were here before us. And hopefully they'll continue to be here. We're just trying to obstacle, just maintain as being a beekeeper and do what we can to help the bees rather than doing something that's going to harm them as well.
Wow, that's amazing. And there's a question, somebody said, are all bees pollinators, such as wasp and yellow jackets?
So there are lots of other yellow stripy things that are not bees. They come from similar families, but they are not bees. There are thousands of types of bees, and quite commonly people are familiar with only a few, like the honeybee and the bumblebee. But and sweat bees, but people really need to know that there are wasps and bees and thousands of species in each of those categories.
Wow. So have you all been bitten, by a bee? And if so, oh my gosh,
one thing, I got stung last week. It wasn't the first time. It's not going to be the last time. And like I tell the kids I work with, everybody has got a splinter at one point. So think about getting a splinter in your fingers. Just that first little ouch that you get. And then after that, you're like, okay, just pull it out and go from there. Bees do not want to sting you. Bees are very, very intelligent because they know if they sting you, they will die. So part of the thing that either pulled me into, loving the life of the bees is the fact that for the good of the hives, if the bees feel threatened, they will actually sacrifice their life for the good of the hive. So the bees are very, they're defensive. They're not aggressive. So, a lot of times they fly around your buzzing. They're just trying to think of you're a flower. But for the most part, once you swat, then they're going to maybe sting you. But for the most part, every time I've gotten stung, it's been my fault. I was careless. I was rushing, things of that nature. It wasn't the bees' fault because, like as I mentioned, bees do not want to sting you because they know if they sting you, their stinger is connected to their intestines. So once they sting you, when they pull it out, it kills them. They die after that.
Oh, wow. I never knew that. Wow.
Yeah.
That is true. And that's not true for all stinging things.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people say, well, surely that can't be right because a bee stung me multiple times quite often. It was a yellow stripy thing that wasn't a bee. Again, anything that stings, people automatically say is a bee, and it probably wasn't.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. So tell me all about, share the vision and the mission of MoHives.
Sure. So our mission, like I just briefly mentioned before, thank you for asking that question. Our mission is really similar to what the mission of Detroit Hives was in the middle of Detroit. What they experienced in Detroit was an excess of vacant, blighted property in the middle of their city. And we, another big city in the US, see the same thing. We have sort of a Hive 5 initiative, which when people ask us our why, we try to mention. So the first part is the bees. Certainly, we mentioned the threatening of their existence through man-made and man-derived activities. So we want to focus on the bees, not just honeybees, but all bees, and certainly honeybees are our focus. But then part of our mission is to reclaim blighted lots and turn them into honeybee farms because we believe that beautification in urban centers is important. Certainly because environmental justice is something that we really need to think about and be cognizant of. Looking around your environment and seeing beauty is not only critical for your physical health, but for your emotional health as well. So we want to convert blight to beauty. We want to think about the fact that, again, pollinators, honeybees included, are part of our food chain, and we need a secure food chain. So if you want to secure food chain, you better know each link. Fourth, this is a STEM endeavor. We know that representation in the STEM fields is critical. And entomology, which is the study of bugs, entomology is a critical scientific field for representation. But things like botany, plant study, or soil science, these are careers that everyone could be a part of. And again, it's going to take a lot of conversation around conservation in a lot of different arenas, not just in the rural communities, to really dig at this problem and get at it the way we need to. And then the fifth part is money. The beekeeping industry is a $1 billion industry in the US, and everyone can be a part of that. And it doesn't just have to be about honey. People think of honeybees and honey as the only product, but there is revenue around the safety equipment involved in beekeeping. There's money in just providing your live bees to an apple orchard or almond orchard that needs pollination services. There's money in just a whole host of fields that, again, a diverse group of people should be aware of and then should be able to enter that economy. So that's our mission, centered around that Hive of 5. And really the fun of it is we get to bring kids along, our city along, and who wouldn't want to be a part of making their life sweeter in the middle of their city, like what we're having an opportunity to do in ours.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so when you all bring the kids around, they're not scared. You just kind of coach them through it type.
We coach them through, and we have the appropriate equipment for them as well. And and part of it, we have a curriculum, and we bring the kids through our total curriculum that we created. As Dr. Pearson said, we're going to let them know what our Hive 5 initiatives are. And then from that, they get a hands-on, the kids and the bigger kids, meaning the adults, get a hands-on experience in the hives, working with the bees as well. We have a historically Black college that's located probably 150 miles from Kansas City, Lincoln University in Jeff City, which is an agriculture school. And a lot of people don't realize that bees are actually livestock or considered livestock. I was fortunate enough to go to college on an athletic scholarship, but not everyone can play basketball, football, or run track. So it gives the kids in urban core just another avenue to look at these agricultural scholarships to these agricultural schools, and just another venue to go to college, and then also maybe take up the science part of it or entrepreneurial part of it as well. But the initiative is just getting to college, and maybe bees might be that avenue to get them there as well. So that's
do. So let's go ahead and formally introduce them. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Okay. So my guests are the co-authors of the book, The Evolution of Skating. This book has stories that will take you on a twisting ride into the gritty underground of adult roller skating, introducing event organizers, videographers, DJs, skate critics, rink owners, and more. This book gives the reader a peek into the deep, passionate, and personal world of artistic, vibrant, seldom understood historical pastime called roller skating. Everyone, please welcome to the virtual stage Amirah Palmer. She is from Houston, Texas. Rockin Richard is from the D, Detroit. Absolutely. Buck Wild is coming in from Los Angeles. The Skate Critic, she is coming from the Bay, Concord, California. Absolutely. We have Chuck Birch from the D as well in Detroit. He's from Detroit. And we have Tony Saylor from the A, Atlanta. Yes. So all those skaters, let me just bring them on into the room. Let's add them in. Here they come. Here they come. Absolutely. Look at those smiling faces.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, welcome to Let's Talk. I'm so excited that you guys are here. You look great. I
Thank
see
you,
Buck
man.
Wild's trying to. There he is. I see your face. I see you. I see you. Welcome, you guys. So I have to ask all my guests the question I ask everybody, right? And that is, are you washing your hands, wearing your mask, and standing 6 feet apart? Okay,
Definitely.
I take it as yes. Awesome, awesome. So again, I'm so glad you guys could join. As I was sharing with everybody, as you know, I'm a skater, and I'm so proud to have you guys come on and talk about the book. So I would like to start with Miss Amirah Palmer and ask you, ma'am, what inspired you to write this book? Please share with us.
Okay, it's Amirah. And it was just a desire to provide a platform for us as skaters to be heard and for our stories to be told in our own words and for people to understand, this passionate art that we have. And just to give that platform so that everyone can come in and enjoy and invite people and encourage them to come to the wood and join us.
Absolutely. Okay. Now I love it. I love it. Absolutely. So when you say the wood, for those that aren't familiar with it, that's the actual skate floor because the skate floor is made of wood, correct?
It is, but I want to talk about, Mr. Buck, while we do have those skaters who do skate outside, we do have a great community of skaters that are outside skaters. So the concrete as well.
Okay. Okay. Absolutely. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you for bringing everybody together and writing the book and getting everybody's take on it. That's huge. I commend you for that. Definitely. Definitely. So
Well, I
let
want to commend them because really
okay.
it's their stories that have inspired me. So their history of the art and their talents is what really inspired me. So I want to thank each and every person who thus far and who in the future will contribute to one of the books.
Okay. All right. I love it. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's move on to Mr. Rockin Richard out of the D, my hometown, Detroit. How are you, sir? You doing good?
Oh, just doing great. Just doing great. How you guys are doing? This is so marvelous that we're finally putting this stuff together. And congrats to Amirah and all the people that decided to make this book also possible. I wrote mine too. So this sort of like doubles it up. So now we really got something to go out there for people to really see what's really happening in the skating world. So what we got to do now is just keep it going, keep it solid, And I think we're going to take this all the way, especially because we're
Absolutely.
starting to come out of this pandemic now.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, with that being said, let me ask you this question. I know you've been skating for some years. For those that saw you, he was a guest on my show when we first started the show, actually, and he's
Oh, yeah.
been skating since the '70s. So, Richard, where do we go from here with roller skating with all the things and the different generations? What's your thoughts on that, sir?
Well, I think now the fact that we've been over a year now with this COVID going on, and we're starting to get shots. Next week, I have my second shot. My wife, she's had hers, and my mother-in-law, she's had hers, and a few of my guests, they're starting to get theirs too. So skating is starting to open back up now, and it looks like we're going to start getting back into it. But what we've got to do is we got to be careful. We got to take it slow
Mhm.
because we waited this long, so we can't be foolish right now. We've got to be adults and treat it like it's still out there because it's still waiting on us. We
Mhm.
love skating. We love it so much that we would risk our life to do it. That's how much we are into this as far as roller skating is concerned. But we got to be careful and we got to make sure that, all the things are just right before we really get back into this because when we do open this back up, it's going to go international so big. I don't know how we're going to handle this, but we're going to have fun trying.
I love it. I love it. And it's so awesome. I commend you as well, sir, for been skating since the '70s, nonstop and still going. You look great.
Love it.
So
Just
that's
turned
huge.
70.
You did. Oh my
Just turned
goodness. Happy
70, yeah.
belated. You look good for your age. And I'm sure you can attribute it to roller skating, right? Staying
Oh, no
healthy.
doubt about it. No doubt about it. Yes, yes, yes. A good wife helps too.
Oh, I gave her a shout out. I know that's right.
No doubt about it.
Absolutely. Well, you definitely have earned the title in my book as the Godfather. So
Thank you so much.
definitely.
I'm
Absolutely.
just
We appreciate.
amazed that we finally have all of these authors that have all these stories out here, to tell because at one time I was sitting around wondering, okay, I got to write this book. And it took me 10 years to write it. And I got as many stories as I could from all the skaters that I could around here, and then when we went out of town, I got, stories from other skaters that I knew. But when Amirah said that she was going to write this, she don't know my head hit the ceiling because
Aw.
she just joined me as far as what we're trying to do and this link what we're trying to do, and we keep all of the skaters positive and keep going the way we're going. We're going to have so many great things coming out of this, not only great health but also great adventures in
Awesome.
roller skating.
I love it. I love it. Fantastic. We got to keep it going, right? Keep it going.
That's
I
for
love
sure.
it. I love it. Well, moving on to Mr. Chuck Birch. He hails originally from Detroit as well. Um, Sir, can you hear me? It looks like you muted yourself. Can you hear me?
No, I'm good.
There you
I'm
go.
good.
Hey, he's from Detroit, you guys. Absolutely. So, how are you doing today? Now, I believe you live in Texas now, right?
That is correct. I'm in
Okay,
Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas. But you still represent the D, though, right?
Oh, always the D. The D for life.
All
D for life.
right. Now, do you skate Detroit style skating, of course?
I do. I can skate Detroit style, but I picked up everybody else's style. So, I'm the one that opens up the skate rink and sometimes the last one to leave.
Wow. Oh, I love it. I love it. So moving on to you, my question for you is, one thing that some people always wonder is, does the skate world partake in giving back to the community by way of community service? What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, my thoughts are a lot of times people don't know the depth of what the skate world and skaters are doing in the community and out there. And what we do as skaters, we have this thing, I call it skate chatter. And you talk to people just for a few minutes, sometimes when you're rolling or when you're sitting down, and it's amazing the things that they're into and what they do. And for me personally, I was blessed to go to college, to leave the D and go to college on a scholarship. And so my passion is student scholarships. And what I've been able to do is to turn my passion for skating into a passion for raising money. And so what we use skating parties and skating outings to raise scholarship dollars to send students to college. And now we send students all over the country. I'm a product of an HBCU, so I love my HBCU roots. Matter of fact, I brought roller skating to the school that I went to, which was North Carolina A&T. So I brought my Detroit to Carolina, and then my job moved me to Texas. I'm a CPA. See, I'm an accounting finance guy, but I roll hard by night. And what we do is we raise money for scholarships for kids, and we've given away over $150,000 in scholarships. We raised about $25,000 just in the last year. I'm blessed to give a scholarship to a number of students, but we have a skating party between Christmas and New Year's that actually now is turning into a semi-national event because my skate friends, my skate family, come from all over the country to participate in that. And we raise some great money and we give scholarships on the spot. So now students know that they need to come to roll because they might be blessed there. And we've been able to do that, and we've gotten great publicity in doing that. And it really just promotes the skate game and the skate world. And it's all great. And so my friends here, you know, when I see them on occasion, because I travel to the D and I travel to the A, and, you know, the skate critic, she comes out to some of our parties. So now our skate family are the peoples on this panel, and we all go and we support each other. It's a great
That's
good.
fabulous. I love it. I love it. Especially the part where you talked about raising the money and, you know, the younger generation can come to the rink. You might get money on the spot. Oh my goodness. That's huge. Absolutely. Well, big ups to you and to all the skaters. Definitely. Definitely. So we got to get more people to come down to Texas so we can contribute for someone to go to school. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, so let's move on to Mr. Tony Saylor coming in from the A, Atlanta. How are you, sir?
Hello, everyone. How you doing? I'm Tony Saylor. First, I want to thank Ms. Lett. Thank you for having me on your show, and Amirah, thank you for blessing me with this amazing opportunity to be a part of the book. I thank you, and I thank sharing this panel with all you who are on here today.
Oh, well, absolutely. And you guys, the book there on his shoulder is a picture of their actual book. So he got special with that being up there on his shoulder like that. Absolutely. My pleasure. Definitely. So, Tony, you know, I see you in all the videos. You know, my friends that aren't skaters, they'll send me videos. Oh, look at this guy. Do you know him? And you doing your thing. And I'm like, whoa, yeah, I know him. I know him. So everybody is so, you know, hyped up to see you do skating. So tell me, what motivates you to continue skating? Because you've been doing it for quite a while as well, correct?
Right. Well, I'm originally from California, Crenshaw, Crenshaw, Hartford, but I claim Atlanta because my family, all the family is mostly from Georgia on the South. What motivates me to keep skating is, well, there's a lot of things. Well, I've been able to do a lot when it comes to skating. I've been able to do commercials, music videos, TV shows, movies. But my focus, what really kind of like got me to continue to do it, because at first I kind of like was like, all right, it wasn't holding me there. What kind of got me to continue to skate is how my influence had a big impact on certain high schools, churches, nursing homes, and several organizations like Hosea Feed the Homeless. I was able to be a part of that, and all I did was, you know, take my crew and I said, hey, let's go here. Hey, let's go here. And just by seeing how it impacted those people, that made me was like, yo, it's nice to see a smile on somebody's face. And then not too long ago, I had to leave, but take a hiatus for a minute. But before I left, I was able to get with a certain family that's part of my crew. And I just was teaching the mother, and I started teaching the kids, and I started teaching the father, and it brought their family together. And they just do these things, incredible things on skates. And every time they see me, we just get together and do things. And what ended up happening, there was other families that was watching families do these things on skates. And that's what kept me going, because skating is fun. It's entertaining for me. You know, I try not to get so caught up into the social aspect. But when I start seeing that, like, of course, I love to skate with adults and whatnot. But when I start seeing the impact that it has on families, how they, you know, I come from an area where the kids are normally dropped off at the skate rink, and the mom or the dad leaves and comes back and pick them up. But now I get to see where the family is actually skating with each other. That's a different feeling. I've been to the skate parties. I've done it all. I've skated on concrete, I skated on top of Stone Mountain.
Wow.
You know, I've done a lot. I skated 400 to 600 meters away from the Iran border.
Wow.
So I've been places, but the most amazing thing was to see a family come back to us and say, hey, normally we don't do this, we don't really skate, but because you guys kind of open your hearts out to us, me and my daughter are more close. That touched me. And so that really motivates me. It's like, hey, the lights, the cameras, that's all good, but look at the impact that it's doing. You want to keep a skating rink open? Build a family.
Wow. That's deep. I love that. You're absolutely right, because the key to it all is the family and doing that. Big ups to you for doing that and showing them how to skate. And wow, I'm just so touched by that. So let me ask you this question. You mentioned that you skated in, I think you said Iran?
I skated, so I was in Iraq.
All right.
The bottom of Iraq, I was in. I want to give, because I was on duty.
Oh,
I have a picture of it. But as I was on duty, as you know, we're not friends with Iran.
Yeah.
So my outpost was near the border, and I can see the other outpost on the other side. So we used to look in our binos, and I wave at them, they wave back, even though we're on opposition. So I decided to give them a show. So I got on top of a Hesco, and when my legs was good, and I started to do some little, crazy legs, some spins, little break dance here and there. And they clapped, they shot a couple rounds off, but that kind of got bad because shooting rounds off. What does that mean? That was back in 2008.
Man, that's amazing to hear that you, even with skating, it was a peaceful type of thing. Oh, that's wonderful. Absolutely. Well, sir,
Imagine what skates can do for you.
well, thank you for your service. That's an amazing story.